Hello crafty friends, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to create 3 cards for you using some scraps of patterned paper left over from my 10 die cut masculine cards video that I did before Christmas. I'll leave a link above and down below if you'd like to check that out. For card number 1, I took some square and rectangle and strip shaped scraps and glued them in an abstract way on a panel of smooth white card. I used high-tack glue to stick them down so that if I knocked them they wouldn't shift. This is great glue for holding things in place while they dry. The patterns that I chose I felt worked well together. There were some dark patterns, some lighter patterns to create a bit of contrast so that it didn't all look too samey. I decided to try and concentrate my focal area to the top left of the card panel, sort of sitting about 2/3 up the card and 1/3 in from the left, which is a pleasing arrangement, something that the human eye and brain seems to really like. I mostly ran everything up and down, sort of vertically, but I did add one horizontal strip just below halfway for a bit of something different, a bit of juxtaposition, I think. To soften everything, I used a circular, again, abstract pattern die and die cut from a pale gold foiled piece of card, which I felt went really well with the pattern. It brings in that bit of shimmer and shine that I like, but as I say, it also softens everything. Everything is quite angular, but we've also got some circles now to round it out. After trimming my panel down a little bit, I took my edge beveling tool, my embossing tool, and ran it around all 4 sides of the panel, and this just curves the edge over a little bit. It makes it look a little bit more die cut and less trimmer cut. It kind of finishes it off nicely, I think. Next, I use my tape runner to stick my panel onto a card blank. I do prefer tape runner to glue for this because I often find no matter what glue I use, it makes the card blank warp a little bit when I put a panel on with glue, whereas using tape runner, it's a dry medium, so I don't get any of that warping. For my sentiment, I chose the word thanks. This is one that I pre-printed and pre-cut with my Silhouette Cameo digital cutting machine. When I use die cuts, well, they're not really die cuts, they're digital cuts, but when I use these, I often run my edge beveling tool around the edge to make the piece look die cut, because cutting machines tend not to give you that nice beveled edge. For a finishing touch, I added some small circles, dotted them around the place. These I die cut from another piece of that gold cardstock that I used for the abstract circles. And that was card number 1 done. For card number 2, I took the remnants of that gold foiled card that I'd used to cut all those little circles out, and I picked a heart die and die cut a heart shape from it. I then took the same heart die and cut a heart from one of the dark teal coloured papers because I wanted to back my holy heart. To stick the holy heart onto the green heart, I used my glue dotter and some high-tack glue again because I didn't want this to shift around once it had been stuck down. To make sure it was stuck down well, I took a piece of non-stick deli paper and put it over the top and gave it a good press. The non-stick paper just protects it from dirty fingerprints. Next, I took a piece of wood grain paper and I die cut out a larger heart because I wanted to mount my holy teal coloured heart on something, and I felt something darker and stronger behind it would help it stand out. So I added glue to the back of the holy heart and stuck it on the wood grain heart. I then stuck the whole thing onto a panel of smooth white card. I put it in the top right hand corner because I wanted to have a bit of the heart hanging off, and I'd just done a left-handed design card and felt I wanted a right-handed design card, so that's the only reason I put it to the right rather than the left. I did trim off the overhang with my trimmer, And then I die cut out two pieces of foliage, two identical pieces, one from white card and one from a light teal card. Now normally I would put the coloured piece on top of the white piece, so the white piece acts a bit like a shadow. But when I did that, I felt that it got a bit lost because of the green that was already there on the heart. But this time I put the light teal piece behind the white, and I think that helps it to really stand out. The white cuts a swathe through all the colour. For the sentiment, again, I used a digital cut hello sentiment and placed it on my heart, offset to the left slightly so it didn't obscure too much of the foliage. And that was card number 2 done. For my third and final card, I took lots of little scraps of paper and die cut from them using my paperclip dies. And my idea for this was to have a card front covered in paper clips, with the paper clips kind of pointing towards the sentiment, drawing the eye towards the middle of the card where I was going to put the sentiment. I started by adding 3 gold foiled paper clips, and I spread those around the card pointing towards the middle, and I put these down first because they're really the kind of stars of the show because they're gold, and I knew that once I had those placed properly, all the other paper clips would kind of fall into place. So what is your favourite thing to do with scraps of patterned paper? Do you keep them? Do you organise them? Do you die cut from them in advance of making a card, or do you die cut as you go? Let me know what you do with your patterned paper scraps. For my sentiment, I stamped good luck using a clearly besotted stamp. It's a really fun bouncy font, which I felt went well with the fun paperclip design. I stamped it on a piece of copy paper first, and then die cut a postage stamp, a square one, out of a bit of card. I then lined up the aperture over the sentiment to get it all bang in the middle, and then I put the postage stamp back in the aperture and stamped on that, and that way I made sure that my stamp was perfectly aligned on my postage stamp. I did also cut a larger postage stamp shape out of some wood veneer paper, and then I put some foam tape on the back of the good luck piece, added a little bit of glue so that I could kind of wiggle it around into place, and then I stuck that in the centre. For a finishing touch, I brought in some more of those gold circles that I'd cut earlier. I think this might be my favourite of the cards that I've created today. I do love stationery, and anything with stationery on it is a winner in my books. Right, that's all 3 cards done and dusted. I hope you've enjoyed the video and it's given you a few ideas of things you can do with the scraps and dies that you might have in your stash. If it has, please do let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all that good stuff, and I'll see you back here very soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.